So Mason, what would you say your life out of high school has been like?
I would say it's just been kind of boring. I've been working all the time, and besides that, I go outside with my friends sometimes to hang out and go places. But other than that, I um, don't really do much else. So it's really just been kind of boring.
What would you say a life lesson you've learned over like the past year you've been out of school?
Life lesson. Definitely try saving your money, however much you can. Because you never know what kind of situations you can get into.
Oh yeah, like that. The overpriced PC you bought.
That, my car breaking down, having to buy a new one, paying off loans, it's stuff comes to bite you in the butt.
Yeah. Would you say you're a Pokemon fan?
Not really.
What do you know about the Poke?
Whatever I watched of Sun and Moon, very tad bits of previous gens, and almost nothing of the newer stuff.
Okay, that's understandable. What's one thing you miss about high school and why?
The amount of responsibilities that I had, because I didn't have many responsibilities
This is
to
like
worry
work,
about.
scholar bill, and I guess car payments.
Yeah, you're talking about. I'm talking about high school as a whole. Collectively, I didn't have too much. In the later years, yeah, it started to pile on, but in the beginning years of high school, I felt so much more carefree.
What?
It was a better time.
Yeah. What's one thing you miss about high school, and why?
Is that not what you just asked?
What's one thing you dislike about high school, and why? Sorry about that, Mr. Davison. Brain fog. It's like middle of the night.
um, Dislike about high school? This is no disrespect to you, Davidson. This all disrespect to SEMO, but the essays that were due almost every week in the honors English class I was in my senior year. That was the one thing I hated, because although yeah, I never did any of the work, I was just too mentally exhausted to actually sit down and get myself to think, and having to do that almost every week. Something that I just threw it at, I just like threw it out of my mind, and I just didn't do any of it because I couldn't force myself to actually sit down and think through those processes of trying to write essays.
Yeah, that's all I've been this year since Family Dollar had me slaving away. Like all 3 to 2s for 8 days in a row.
Yeah, work in senior year English class is probably not a good mix.
I mean, I'm glad I have like the lower class, but still.
Yeah.
Um, out of every year of high school, what would you say your favorite was?
I would say freshman year.
Why is that?
I got to. It was a fresh beginning into the high school system as a whole. I got to do a lot of things during that year with my friends that I really enjoyed. Um, and when it came to being at home, I was able to branch out more online and make a ton of more friends.
Yeah, that's how I was before I realized I was becoming a chud, a Discord moderator.
Well, you haven't hit the size for that yet, but
I am 40 pounds overweight. You know that, right? 40 or 50 pounds.
I'm 175 at 6 foot.
You're probably
Ow.
considered like average.
True.
I'm 200 at 5'7".
Well, much of that's more so much of that's muscle mass.
Yeah, I know, but still, on the BMI, I'm considered overweight.
Okay, you're much more fit than I am, so you're not. Okay, this is getting off track. Anyways, continue.
If there's one day you would relive in high school, what would it be and why? It's one day.
One day I could relive in high school. I believe it was Halloween of sophomore year
Halloween sophomore year.
because it was me, AJ, Mason, John Riley, or Jonathan, and we were just out and about walking around the town, ding dong ditching. Oh, and Dontavius. I mean, I forget to include Dontavius. We were out ding dong ditching and just running around the entire town, laughing our butts off and having all this fun. That was also the year John sprained his ankle and permanently sprained it, mind you, trying to chase Gunnar Pugh in his truck.
Why was he trying to chase Gunnar?
Because Gunnar passed by us and like thought it'd be funny to chase after him. We all started chasing him, but John tripped on his ankle, and we all had to jump over him to avoid falling on him.
For me, I'd have to say April 8th of my sophomore year. Because that's when the solar eclipse happened, and nothing bad happened that day. There was a fog delay. I got McDonald's breakfast. I hung out with friends, and after school, me, Dustin, Thomas, and Jamerson went to Sonic and tried the solar eclipse milkshake. I don't know what it was. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the solar eclipse itself was beautiful, nonetheless.
Yeah, having that partial back in 2016 and then having the full in 2022.
Yeah, it was 2024, I think. Yeah, 2024.
Right.
Yeah, for the 2016 one, at my old school at Matthews, they had us stay inside the building and watch like Bill Nye the Science Guy videos about it. While y'all guys went outside and saw it.
Yeah, I was in Hayti at the time, but we went down the big old football field. That was great.
Yeah. Okay. If there was one mistake in high school you could redo over, what would it be?
That's a good one. Mistake for me? Out of all people. Not properly studying for Scholar Bowl. Most of the time, I just winged that stuff and didn't try and better my repertoire of information. Although I did end up getting us to state, still, I only really clutched in at the last moment for a tiebreaker. Anything else was everyone else's work being put in because I was too tired to actually.
Lower brightness since my phone's basically dead.
Yeah, I was too tired to keep on with packets.
What advice would you give to a student that's about to become a freshman?
Focus on yourself and actually make sure that your work gets done, which I did. Like I said, freshman year I didn't have any issues with that, but like best advice I can give, focus only on yourself and doing your work. Don't get involved in trauma, or not trauma, drama. Well, both trauma and drama, because you never know what can happen. But trying to get into clubs and groups that you like, make friends with people that aren't gonna bullshit you and try to be fake with you, and you'll thrive and you'll do good.
What were some of your favorite activities in and out of school?
In and out of school.
I know Scholar Bowl was one of them.
Scholar Bowl was something I had been doing since freshman year. What else? What was I really doing out of school? I think mostly just sitting at home playing or chatting online with friends.
Yeah, on the VR.
I didn't have a VR back then.
Ah,
I didn't have a VR.
when did you get a VR?
2024, on my birthday. So it's
Uh,
been about 2 years. It's been a little over 2 years.
Jeez.
But I would mostly like go on Discord or a type of podcasting live streaming app
Yeah.
that would allow you to talk with people.
Yeah, doing these interviews are pretty fun. Or
Well, people that you know, yeah. Because
Yeah,
you find out a little bit more about
yeah,
me.
with me and Maddox, I was just nervous, and all he did was talk about gooning. I'm being dead ass. He was talking about gooning. What's the rabbit from Zootopia?
Judy Hopps?
Yeah, Judy
No.
Hopps and Chica.
This is an Antonio all over again with his foxes. Davidson would know what I'm talking about.
Ooh, oh. Mr. Davidson should explain that to me tomorrow. I'm gonna try to find a charger real quick so we can keep going.
Oh. Do you not have a charger right there? It's short as hell.
Okay. What's one teacher you missed? And did you enjoy their subject, or were they just like a good person overall?
Is it only allowed to say one or two?
You can say as many as you want.
Norman.
Okay, Mr. Davis, I'm sorry for the cutoff. When I put my phone on the charger, it stopped the video and stopped the recording. But what teachers have you missed? And was the subject fun, or were they just like a good person overall?
Norman, because I could relate to him with the ADHD, and he made his subjects kind of engaging, for the most part. And also because of Scholar Bowl, he was a great coach and a really fun guy to be around. I liked Davidson mainly because he was very immersive with his subjects whenever he was trying to teach stuff, which I enjoyed heavily. And before senior year rolled around, I really did enjoy his class a lot.
So for my senior year, it's decently enjoyable, mainly due to Maddox and his weird speeches. For our introduction speech, you know what Maddox talked about?
What?
His dad getting lucky at a bar with his mom. And Cape. Mr. Davidson knows the bar.
Oh, okay. That's lovely information.
Yeah, I know. He shared it to the entire class. What's another thing?
How do you top that?
Yeah, how do you top that? What was the favorite project you worked on?
Ooh, favorite project. I can't remember exactly what my favorite project to work on was. No, I remember. It was in sophomore year of my ag class. For the FFA, I made, for the floriculture stuff for our division, I put together an entire slideshow of every single flower that was listed on the official thing for like all the tests and stuff that we do. And I went onto Google, found an image for every flower that was listed, and I put it all into a Google slide so that way if people would do floriculture stuff, they would have a reference of the name and the type of flower, or what the flower would look like, flower plant, etc., to be able to study it. I would say I spent about a week on that, or maybe 3 to 5 days working on that in class, and it was Pretty fun.
Okay. For me, you know Thomas, right? Thomas Daniels. See, he told me for Miss Ashley's junior class, there's a DNA project about what if two superheroes had a baby and what their genetics be like, the powers. Do you remember that? I don't know if you had it or not.
I don't think I had that.
Okay, so you're probably in two different classes. You're probably in like an honors class.
Maybe.
See, I was hyped for this. I had like the perfect two characters. I don't remember at the time. I don't remember what they were. But time rolls around and Miss Ashley doesn't even get around to it. I was so disappointed. Had this all planned out. She doesn't even do it. What was your least favorite subject?
What was my least favorite? I would probably have to say.
Bud is thinking about it.
I'm actually thinking about it. What? My least favorite? I'm gonna say was. No, I can't say history because history was
History's fun.
all right.
History is one of my favorite subjects because the world wars were fascinating, in my opinion.
I would say English, not I mean most of the time
With the poems.
Yeah, I think more so specifically Miss Sasha's English classes because they weren't as engaging.
Okay, for my junior year, it was pretty engaging because there was like 5 people. 2 of which were my friends. One was Jamal, and the other one was like Antonio. It was a pretty engaging class, and actually pretty fun for an English class.
English class. Is that how you say it?
Oh, okay, buddy. Okay. What's a subject you wish you could try harder on? And do you miss any of the food items at the lunch table or lunchroom?
Spicy chicken patty. Spicy chicken patties when we had the condiment cart. Because I could load them up with banana peppers, mayonnaise, lettuce.
When did they take that away from us? I don't remember that, but
lockdown. I would have been in 7th grade.
I was barely in 6th. They took that away from us.
You would think they would bring it back, but no, they didn't. I was mad.
You know what I find genuinely retarded about the school's lunchroom?
What?
Okay, you know the sporks? How there were like baggies with like a napkin and a straw?
Uh-huh.
They're just laid out.
They're laid out?
Yeah, like sporks are just like laid out like some bowl. What if I cough on my hand and just rub it all over the fucking sporks? I bet Irby or BJ doesn't even have 2 brain cells to think of that.
I don't know.
We are taking a step back.
We are.
The plastic that was wrapped around the sporks protected us from diseases like that. Now it's just laid on the bowl.
Put it in the bowl. Yeah, that's kind of...
Then the inflation on the cookies has been annoying because I remember back in the 6th grade.
Dude, you could buy 2 for like 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents. Now they're like $1.50.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, which one do you think was better? Barry as principal or BJ?
I think Barry as principal was better.
Barry was a whole lot nicer and a whole lot less intimidating as BJ. But BJ's been pretty chill. I love Irby. He's an understanding guy. I don't know about BJ. He's an odd one. What's one teacher you don't miss? And you can't say Coach Rogers.
Teacher I don't miss.
Yeah. Like a teacher you genuinely despise or just don't really like them.
I'm actually trying to think on this because. Man, I actually don't have any teachers that I despise.
For me, it's Miss Tracy.
Oh, you're not talking about just high school.
I mean, I was, but then she came into my mind. Everyone I've talked to has had a bad experience with Miss Tracy.
I think my only quarrel with Miss Tracy was the whole thing of me of 6th grade, me being sent to ISS and I couldn't go back to junior beta the next year.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What did you go to ISS for?
Can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember what it was in 6th grade. I said some dumb shit to AJ, and
Like AJ Wilson, your friend AJ, the black AJ.
yeah, my
The-
friend. I was saying some dumb shit to
the
him.
Nintendo AJ.
Yeah, and
Kirsten Musgrave.
Kirsten Musgrave was sitting at the table too, and I think kind of like seemed appalled by it, and then Miss Tracy picked up on it, and they got sent to ISS for it.
What do you say?
I don't remember.
You think AJ?
I think we were playing a card game, and I think I said something. I think like I got fucked over, and I said some shit like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking get you, AJ."
I say a whole lot worse, like Thomas and Jamerson. Dude,
I said this. I said actually very much the same thing in 5th grade, and I got sent to a mental facility for 5 days, all because Cross told on me. Cross Howard.
You mean 6th grade? You weren't here for 5th grade.
I was here in 5th grade around February 2018. So like the ending of the year.
Yeah, for me and Thomas used to like rag on each other. I remember being in the hallway once and telling Thomas straight to his face, out loud, he should die from cancer. Look, I love that guy. He's like a brother. No one cared when I said that shit.
Yeah, no.
People
were on my ass all the fucking time anytime I said some out of pocket shit.
Yeah, I said that right in front of BJ, I think.
Oh, that's rich.
I know, he didn't care when I told like a cancer survivor he should have died from cancer because he took my honey bun.
No, that's a justified crash, yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get sent to ISS for that.
I remember some up like back in like sophomore year, some upperclassman tried like gripping my butt cheek or something in the middle of the hall. And I told him, "Stop it, you motherfucker!" And someone called me, or one of the teachers called me like, "Stop cussing all."
Which teacher was it?
Fucking, I don't remember.
Yeah, cause they let AJ. They let Altice chug a beatbox in the lunchroom and have a vape on him. I remember back in sophomore year, I was in Miss Chance's class, right? And
I don't know. Okay, you can tell me this later, but I think this is straying from an interview, and more so just talking about stories.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Jeffers doesn't care. I mean, we already hit like the 5-minute minimum. We're just two bros yapping at this point. But it was sophomore year, right? And it was my 7th hour. I had Logan, Altice, and 2 random seniors and a Malia Baker. And I was next to Altice, and I was kind of thirsty. I said, "Hey, can I get a drink of your water?" He said, "Sure." Before I went to drink it, guess what I smelled? Pure vodka.
Oh, wow.
Pure vodka. In school.
One of the 7 deadly sins.
It was either vodka or I don't know.
Probably.
I was taken aback.
What, Alzheimer's? The whole thing?
Okay, it's all ties. He has done worse. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Like that one time during the floods of last year, I think, he told me to get Phasmophobia. I got Phasmophobia. We never hopped on. I got PlayStation Plus for like a few months, and Phasmophobia, which cost me like 30 or so bucks. He said, "Bro, we're gonna play all night, every day for like months. Me, you, and Thomas and Cross. We never hopped on.
He fucked you so bad.
I'm still annoyed. I still have Phasmophobia. I don't know how to refund it. I think it's too late to refund it. I got maybe like 40 minutes. And most of that was me and him in the loading screen. Me trying to figure out the controls.
Crazy.
That's not one of my biggest regrets. My biggest regrets is being in a Hinch's class for consumer math, right?
Oh.
It was October 8th, 2024. And Dragon Ball Sparking Zero dropped. I spent $70 on that game. I barely played it. They stopped updating it after a month. It was hot for like a few weeks, then nothing. I got a P5 to play for it. Bro. Well, I got the P5 for Christmas.
Heck yeah.
Okay. I think we're dragging this. Low key.
Yeah. I think we've gone on for a while.
Yeah. Bye bye, Mr. Davison.